Climate change and the health of our environment isn't a left or a right issue. It's a universally human concern. But how does that philosophy translate into a faith-based discussion? It's called eco-spirituality. And joining us to discuss an upcoming speaker series is Dena Fokas Moses, president of the Charleston Interreligious Council. We're also joined by Dr. Evelyn Tucker. She's co-director of the Forum on Religion at Yale University. She is also a senior lecturer and research scholar at Yale. Ladies, I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So this is for you, Dena. This is your 5th speaker series. Is this the first time that you've brought the two subjects together, faith and the environment?
Yes, absolutely. This is the first time that we decided to explore this topic of faith and the environment and climate change, and we think it's an important topic to explore, particularly in our low country area. So we're very excited that we'll have.
Most definitely, the low country particularly, I would say, because right there downtown, I mean, you see the world changing around you and things don't look quite the same as they did once upon a time. Now, Dr. Tucker, why do you think this conversation, this realization that there is a melding between faith and climate change, that these two discussions can go hand in hand?
Well, we've been working on this issue for about 25 years on religion and ecology, and it's clear that all of the coastal water cities from Boston, New Haven, down to New York and DC, and certainly Miami, and of course beautiful Charleston, are at risk. And the religious communities can contribute a sense of an urgency, a moral force to this, just as they did with abolition, with the Quakers, and Martin Luther King, who we're celebrating this month, a moral force for segregation. And we're trying to bring these issues together to say both people and planet are at risk at this critical moment in human history. The Department of Defense, has been saying for decades that this is a national security issue. Norfolk, our largest naval base with the Atlantic Fleet, is underwater, and it is at risk, as are all of our naval bases around the world. So this is on very high levels of concern and a moral force for future generations, and especially those who are vulnerable, who will be suffering. Bangladesh, Shanghai, cities in Africa near coastal waters. This is one of the most urgent issues of our time. And I think Charleston, with all of its beauty and grace, has a lot to offer in this discussion.
Yes, indeed. And Dena, when you talk to people in Charleston, when you discuss the idea, the threat that climate change is having on this particular city, what are some of the things that you're hearing, some of the concerns, and what are people who are religiously inclined saying, wanting to do to help contribute to becoming a louder voice to protect the planet?
I think the most common thread is caring for our children, caring for the next generations, caring for our earth. And it is true that so many of our faith traditions speak about this in the literature, in the scripture, and in practice. I think what we have found is there are many faith communities in downtown Charleston and throughout the Low Country that are combating climate change head on in their own way. And I realize that so many faith communities can learn quite a bit from one another. And if we all work together, and my hope is that this event will gather people that have that common interest, and that each community can learn from one another and possibly work towards this together.
Absolutely, right. Absolutely. So there's several dates that people can come and listen to these discussions. Can you tell us real quick when and where those will take place?
The event takes place from March 3rd through March 5th. It will start with a student event at the College of Charleston campus at 2 o'clock on Thursday, March 3rd. And then our keynote is that evening, which I encourage everyone to attend. Everything is free and open to the public. Our keynote that evening with Drs. Evelyn Tucker and Dr. John Grimm will take place at 6:30 March 3rd at Second Presbyterian Church. And then on Friday, again at the College of Charleston, we will have local activists speaking and talking about the issues here in the Low Country related to climate change at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then on Saturday, March 5th at the Unitarian Church in Charleston, we will host clergy talking about combating climate change within their communities.
And capping everything. And then capping everything off is a vegan meal. I want to thank you so much, Dena and Dr. Tucker, for joining us.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you for having us.
We're back in 2 minutes.